Our fourth focus of Emmanuel Global is media ministry. Since 2020, our media production and streaming have increased 400%, and we're thankful to have a media team and the tools to effectively advance the gospel online. Every week, we hear stories of the many people who are tuning into our services, either through live stream or the podcast, and though we couldn't possibly tell all of these stories, we wanted to share a few of them with you today. Julie from Montana recently wrote, "We live in rural Montana and our family has been watching Emmanuel services online almost every week since the pandemic started. We are so enjoying and growing from the messages every week." Leah from Evansville, Indiana recently wrote, "Pastor," and said, "My family and I have been attending Emmanuel virtually since April of 2020. You will never know this side of heaven how much God has used Emmanuel to encourage my family during a season with no local church to attend. You and your church are touching people you may never meet on this earth, though I certainly hope we someday have the opportunity to meet and visit Emmanuel in person." Deanna from New England wrote, "My friend Sarah introduced me to Emmanuel and I trusted God and got baptized. I just wanted to share with you that this Rhythm series has spoken to me tremendously. This past year has been the roughest year of my life, and what got me by was your sermons and believing in being saved by God. Just this past year, I asked for prayers during my online e-group at Emmanuel, and just when it felt like God wasn't there, He provided. I am writing this email just to let you know how much Emmanuel has helped get me through the lowest and darkest moments in my life." Casey recently wrote, "Since my husband and I met 3 years ago, we've been on an intense and difficult journey to Christ that has involved a lot of painful inner work and leaps of faith. I found a post after Googling Christ as the center of reality, which I searched because I felt there was a last piece of me that needed to understand the reality of Jesus before I could fully believe with my heart. I truly feel that over the last couple days, something has clicked in me, and I feel a peace and confidence in the truth of Jesus that is so relieving and exciting. Your writings and the church podcast have played a part in this, so thank you so much." God has also given Emmanuel a unique voice and influence with hundreds of pastors around the nation through a ministry that is an outflow of your influence, Emmanuel. It's called In the Gospel. In the last few years, our In the Gospel events have been attended by the leaders of more than 300 churches. Earlier this October, we were able to host and encourage 40 pastors and their wives, doing all we can to strengthen their marriages and their ministries. Many of you remember Pastor Josue Ortiz, our missionary to Mexico. This year, our media team has had the opportunity to collaborate with him on a very unique project. Josue has been helping us record the book Done in Spanish through a series of videos that will be used as a witnessing tool to Spanish-speaking people. Please pray that God will bless this resource and use it for His kingdom purposes. Aside from the stories you've heard already, God has allowed our team to take big steps forward internally. This year we added new live stream cameras, a brighter projector for the worship center, 2 new studio spaces for recording things like the Enough for Today devotionals or e-groups, and many other upgrades that time does not permit us to tell. We also want to take a moment to thank our entire team of volunteers who help run our sound booth, projection, and live stream every Sunday and Wednesday at Emmanuel. Without their passion and dedication to excellence, the Sunday service would be nowhere near the same. So to our volunteer team, this week and every week, our church is thankful for your sacrifice and your commitment to the spread of the gospel. God is using our ministry and media team more than we could ever understand this side of heaven. So every time we decide to share a message or a series with a friend, God's word is not returning void. Anytime we are generous toward kingdom work, God is growing that fruit. Imagine all the stories we will one day hear in heaven because of the seeds we're sowing now. Seeds of gospel truth, of faithfulness, generosity, and compassion for God's global vision.